Howdy folks, this is Big Sam. As a lot of y'all know, I really enjoy roaming around the ranch here, especially come around dark 30 when it's kind of hard to see. And as some of y'all might have seen from our previous video about why I always carry a Mosin when I get in a woods, it's because we got a mountain lion here named Dolly Parton that likes to roam around these parts at night. And I'd really hate to have an accidental run-in with her. We wouldn't want that. Now, one of my issues is I really like taking around this particular rifle with me. This is a 1944 Izhevsk PU sniper rifle. But the problem is when it comes dark 30 around here, it's really hard to see anything, either with the iron sights or especially with the optic. Can't really see long range at all. You just don't have nearly enough light to make the optic work. So I've devised a really simple solution when I'm out and about at dark here on the ranch with this rifle. What I've done is I've taken our flashlight from our previous home defense video. This is a really simple polymer housing streamlight. And this particular one was only like $50 or $60, pretty affordable, but it's a really powerful light. And what I've done is I've gotten 2 zip ties and I've zip tied it to the actual PU mount here. On PU mounts, you might notice here, there's this circular lightning cut. They cut that in the mount just to make it a little bit lighter. And through here, you can actually run a couple zip ties to attach your flashlight. Now this is a really ghetto and very cheap solution, but I actually kind of like it. Now I think obviously with some more research and R&D and 3D printing, we could come up with a much better mounting system for something like this. But for a very cheap go around with not a lot of time, I mean this took about 5 minutes to put together. And I like this because it's easily reversible. All I have to do is snip off these 2 zip ties and then I'm back to my old PU sniper again. Now this definitely is not for everybody and this is not for most people. But for an application like Big Sam's where this is the rifle I like to take out, and when I'm out in low visibility conditions and there's potential threats, like mountain lions or something like that, even bears, there's a lot of bears around here as well, this is actually going to come in really handy because it's kind of hard to see out here in the daylight. When I turn it on, see it's very bright, but when I turn it on, it's so far back because it's mounted all the way back here, it actually manages to illuminate both the rear and the front sight. So with the light being as strong as it is, at relatively close range, I should have no trouble using my PU optic. That's a huge plus. But if there's an immediate threat at really close range, remember what's nice about PU snipers is that if I need to switch to my irons, I can just go like that and I can still see my irons. So I can go from my scope to my irons like that. Really cool. So because now I have my light illuminating my both rear and front sight, this is actually going to help me hopefully see far enough and avoid getting to any particular threats just from the light itself. But if I do come across something horrible that tries to eat me for dinner, I will be able to have ready access to my sights and to be able to put the illuminated target in those sights if I need to in an emergency situation. So this is really interesting, and this is just one potential idea of something you could do. You kind of need a PU style mount, but I know a lot of people have PU snipers, both originals and reproductions, so maybe this gives you some interesting idea of something else you could set up for your particular use case. Whenever I come up with some horrible, ingenious Mosin idea like this, I always like to share it with y'all. Again, I'm not recommending you go do this to yours, but you know, some of y'all, maybe a few of y'all may be in a scenario like me where this might actually work out kind of well for you. Now, there are some downsides to this, obviously. One, it's not super secure or super stable. I mean, it's holding onto it pretty tight, but you can see there's a little bit of wobble right there. So you just kind of got to understand that. But what's nice is if I need to, I can adjust it pretty easily. And since this is so heavy, I usually use I'm right-handed, so I'll use my right arm while holding up my left arm to adjust it like this while scanning for any potential threats. There's probably some other ways I can make this a little bit more secure, but again, this is prototype 0, Gen 0, so it's gonna have some problems, but you know what? This is actually kind of cool, and now makes this gun, an 80-year-old antiquated gun, pretty viable. And remember, the PU's cool because this is a pretty modern optic by, I think, many standards, although it doesn't have things like illumination, but that should be okay given we have a light on it now. So pretty cool. Hopefully y'all got a kick out of this. I know this is not the greatest thing in the world, but I enjoy doing pretty fun things like this with Mosins. And if y'all are subscribed to the channel by now, that probably means you do as well. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you like more Mosin Nagant content like this, please consider subscribing. Let me know if y'all have any prayer requests, and we'll see you next time.